Are you taking GLP-1 agonist weight loss injections like Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, or Manjaro, but having side effects? In this video, I'll tell you the top 5 most common side effects on these GLP-1 agonist weight loss injections and how you can manage them. I'm Dr. Rawat, an Indian origin, England trained, Canada based family physician who also founded healthgroupcoaching.com, where I coach on weight loss and the reversal of metabolic disease, but also prescribe GLP-1 agonist medication. I'll start at number 5 and move on to number 1 in order of least to most common side effects. Watch the video till the end because you may find some of these surprising. At number 5, mood disturbance or depression. Depression is a relatively rare side effect of GLP-1 agonist medication. For most clients, you would expect that they would be losing weight and feeling good about it. But in certain situations, clients can feel more depressed as well. Of course, there may be factors causing this. Perhaps they're not losing weight as fast as they would like to, and that could be the topic of another video. While you're having a weight loss plateau on GLP-1 agonist medication, it's possible you could be having severe side effects, nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite. Perhaps the calorie deficit is too much. You have no energy and that's why you're feeling depressed. But equally, GLP-1 agonist medication do work on 2 unique centers in the body. They work on the gut and slow down intestinal transit time. So they slow down the movement of food through your GI tract. That's why you get the loss of appetite and nausea. But equally, GLP-1 agonist medication also work on the brain and affect the dopamine reward system. So they reduce the amount of pleasure you derive from that tasty, hyperpalatable hedonic food that you eat. As a result, you eat less. But if you're not careful, if the dose is too high or if it's been titrated too fast, it is possible that it could lead to what's called anhedonia, which means not only do you lose the pleasure of eating food, you lose the pleasure of everything. Nothing is fun anymore. Even watching your favorite sports or engaging in your favorite hobbies are no longer fun. And if that's the case, that's certainly gone too far. A clinician would need to review this and probably pull the dose back. Just highlights how important it is to be monitored closely when you're taking these medications. At number 4, I've clumped together some symptoms which are quite similar: fatigue, tiredness, and dehydration. And there are various reasons why GLP-1 agonist medication can cause these side effects. Number 1, very low calorific intake. Yes, the whole idea of taking weight loss medication is to get into a calorific deficit. However, if this is excessive, then you will feel tired. In addition, if you're not careful, you'll end up losing muscle, losing collagen. And this is why we see the Ozempic face and Ozempic butt. You see, if you step on a bioimpedance scale and calculate your body fat percentage, using a certain equation, you can actually calculate how many calories you have available per day from your fat stores. And if your calorific deficit exceeds how much your body fat can produce, then your body will have to scavenge those other remaining calories from non-fat tissues, including muscle and collagen. Hence those sunken cheeks and other features of rapid weight loss. Another cause can be lack of fluids, dehydration. GLP-1 agonist medication significantly reduce your appetite, but it can also significantly reduce your desire to drink, which can then lead to dehydration. It's really important to remember to keep drinking your fluids. When you're on GLP-1 agonist medication, it might not come naturally to you, so you may not be able to rely on your instincts. Rather, set a reminder for yourself and measure on an app how much fluid you're getting in. Nutrient deficiencies can also cause tiredness and fatigue. It's very well known that if you are on a low calorie diet, it's very easy to become deficient in nutrients. And on my coaching program and on my blogs, I have a certain stack of multivitamins, protein powders, omega-3, collagen, electrolytes, etc., which I coach my clients to take regularly when they are in a calorific deficit to avoid those situations. One more reason can be lack of electrolytes. If you're getting less fluids in, perhaps you're getting some nausea, you might be getting some diarrhea. You could very well be lacking electrolytes, and that could be causing significant tiredness and fatigue. On my coaching program and on my blogs, I recommend a certain electrolyte. Personally, I use Gatorade Zero sachets, which contain no calories but contain electrolytes. and I use them once or twice, particularly if I'm in a significant calorie deficit. Finally, one more cause of significant fatigue and tiredness can be low sugars. GLP-1 agonist medication were initially designed to reduce sugar as treatment for diabetes. In fact, Ozempic and Mounjaro are licensed for treatment of diabetes, while it's Wegovy and Zepbound which are licensed as treatment for obesity. It's possible you could be having low sugars, which is by definition a sugar level below 4.0. Particularly if you're taking anti-diabetic medication, you could easily be getting low sugars. It would be definitely recommended to monitor your sugars, and you may have to reduce your anti-diabetic medication in order to not get low sugars while taking Ozempic or Mounjaro. Another cause of tiredness and fatigue in clients who have obesity but not directly linked to GLP-1 agonist medication is obstructive sleep apnea. These are clients who often have a thick neck, they snore in their sleep. Their partners may have even noticed that they not only snore but they even stop breathing while they're snoring, and that is classic sleep apnea. These clients will wake up unrefreshed. They might feel a lot of irritation and dryness in their mouth and their nose when they wake up. They're those kinds of clients who are at risk of falling asleep in the day. They're the ones who fall asleep in front of the television or could even feel sleepy while driving in the afternoon. And it's really, really important for their safety and for the safety of others that these clients get a sleep test done to make sure they don't suffer from obstructive sleep apnea. Additionally, sleep apnea can increase your stress and cortisol levels and make it very difficult to maintain a calorific deficit and lose weight. And I've seen many cases where starting a CPAP machine and getting your sleep under control has helped clients regain control over their weight and be able to do all those things that they needed to do. So getting a sleep test is extremely important. The side effect at number 3 is reduced appetite or complete loss of appetite, which honestly is a bit difficult to categorize as a side effect because this is a desired effect of Ozempic. They work both on your gut as well as on your brain to reduce your appetite. But of course, if the doses titrate up too fast or the dose is too high for a client, it is possible that the suppression could be too strong. It could well be that this client is now getting very few calories, getting hardly any nutrients, not getting electrolytes, getting dehydrated, and losing muscle. And this is why not all appetite suppression is good. The idea of Ozempic is not to make you start hating food. The idea is to help you get into a calorific deficit, but it is something which needs to be titrated and adjusted according to your symptoms, your weight loss, and your appetite. So almost in a paradoxical kind of way, often it is clients who don't want to track their calories, macronutrients, water intake, who would take GLP-1 agonist medication, but at some stage, if either they are in a plateau or getting side effects, they may well need to track to overcome that situation. The second most common side effect of GLP-1 agonist medication is constipation. Some clients do get diarrhea as well, but constipation is more common, and that can be expected because GLP-1 agonist medication slow down the gut. This is how they work. So how can this be managed? There are various things which can be done. Number 1, as we discussed before, drink more water. Make sure you stay hydrated. About 2.5 liters of water per day, 8 to 10 glasses is a good target. If you don't want to gain weight, then you want to try to use 0-calorie liquids, green tea, black coffee, lemon water, even diet sodas are liquids with no calories. Number 2, stay active. Just walking can keep your gut motility going. Generally speaking, if you're walking less than 4,000 steps a day, that would be described as sedentary. Try to get it up to 6,000, that's considered as moderate. And if you can get it above 10,000, that's considered to be quite active. Make sure you have a smartwatch or a pedometer and monitor your step counts. Number 3, increase your fiber intake. You could aim for anything from 25 to 40 grams a day, but increase gradually. First, track how much you're actually consuming and increase it slowly, 5 grams at a time. If you increase fiber too fast, then that can cause bloating and gut issues. If you take fiber Without adequate amounts of water, you can even get constipated. So fiber is important, but so is activity, so is water. You can also take fiber with healthy fats like avocados, olives, nuts and seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, and fish, seafood. This not only promotes gut motility but also leads to biliary contractions, secretion of bile, and that just lubricates the whole system. Of course, if constipation stays a problem, then you may have to take certain supplements. On my blog, I have fiber supplements like Metamucil, psyllium husk, and also inulin fiber, which has shown benefits for the gut microbiome. As a prebiotic, you could even consider certain probiotics. There are certain probiotics which have shown evidence for weight loss, and you can certainly check out my gut health blog and consider those. Regardless of everything, some people will need over-the-counter medication to relieve their constipation, and some clients may even need to titrate the medication down to relieve their constipation. And the number one most common side effect of GLP-1 agonist medication like Ozempic is nausea and vomiting. Again, this shouldn't come as any surprise. This is more or less how the medication works. But there are many things you can do to reduce this. And this includes how you eat, what you eat, and when you eat. If you eat smaller portions, and even if you eat it more often, you'll find that you don't get as much nausea. You'll get more nausea when you stuff yourself and fill up your stomach. You may have to follow the old Japanese kind of way of things. Only eat up until you're 80% full. Don't try to aim for complete filling of your stomach. And that way you'll get less nausea. What you eat has an impact as well. The most nausea-provoking foods are greasy, deep-fried, fatty foods. So avoid deep-fried foods, red meats, butter, ghee, palm oil, coconut oil, all these sources of fats, but they will cause more nausea. You get the extra benefit of reducing your LDL cholesterol and reducing intake of calorie-dense foods. We all need fats, but you can get fat through healthy fats like fish, seafood, olives, avocados, nuts, seeds, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, etc. If you're mostly eating lean sources of protein, steamed vegetables, some fermented probiotic dairy, and some sources of omega-3 fats, you'll find that you're not getting a lot of nausea. Finally, when you eat also has an impact. Try not to lie down or sleep for definitely 1 hour after eating. But if you can do some degree of early time restricted feeding, which is a mild form of intermittent fasting, not eating 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed at night, maintaining perhaps a 12-hour window minimum between an early light dinner and breakfast, you'll find that you get significantly better sleep, less reflux, less GERD, and less nausea as well. GLP-1 agonist medication like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Zepbound are amazing tools. They have been a true revolution for weight loss and the subsequent reversal of metabolic disease. They're licensed for diabetes, chronic kidney disease, sleep apnea, and even fatty liver. Unfortunately, however, they have not been prescribed in the most adequate way in many cases. I've seen a lot of clients go on these online websites where they send a text message and exchange a few texts and get a prescription prescribed to them. No monitoring, no proper titration, no surveillance for side effects, just the delivery of a medication with a doctor's signature on it. I personally would never put my signature on that kind of prescription. GLP-1 medication are proper medications which deserve proper surveillance. And this is one more reason why I launched my coaching program on healthgroupcoaching.com. On this program, I have 2 tiers of clients who are not on any medication for weight loss, but are joining me twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, on a Zoom group coaching platform for coaching on diet, exercise, supplements, metabolism, and hormones, including follow-up troubleshooting sessions where we go through individual cases as a group and devise strategies to speeden up their weight loss. But equally, I also have clients who are on GLP-1 agonists. And personally, I don't see any difference between these 2 kinds of clients. Both clients need close monitoring. They need tracking. They need to ensure that they are getting adequate hydration, adequate nutrition, adequate electrolytes, adequate protein intake, adequate exercise. They're not losing excessive muscle. They're not getting major side effects. they're not putting themselves at risk of loss of collagen and other kinds of risks down the road. Some people consider GLP-1 agonist medication as a complete cheat code, something which can completely replace lifestyle dietary changes. And for those people, I've got not so good news. They work for a period of time, but you will hit a plateau. And eventually you will realize that you do need to make lifestyle dietary changes to make this permanent. And I would even say to get the most out of your medication, if you want to get value out of this medication, which many of you are spending a lot of money for, then you should use the reduced appetite that you achieve from GLP-1 medication as something which enables you to make those lifestyle dietary changes which you haven't been able to until now. Spots on my coaching program are limited because I do work full-time as a family doctor. And so if you're interested in getting coaching from me, I would recommend you fill out the client discovery form, which you can find on my website, healthgroupcoaching.com, which will give you an idea as to whether you are a good candidate for this program or not. The ideal candidate would be someone who is middle-aged, so age between 30 and 50, is overweight or obese with an increased waist circumference or more belly fat, and has a relatively recent diagnosis, so I would say within the last 5 years, of some kind of metabolic condition. This could be fatty liver, pre-diabetes, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, polycystic ovarian syndrome, prehypertension, or obstructive sleep apnea. The coaching program is tailor-made for that kind of client. And you can check the testimonials on my website, where you'll find that for many patients, their conditions have been completely reversed without the use of any medication. I will leave the link to the website in the description of the video. I hope you found the video useful. Do share it with any friends or family you might know who take GLP-1 agonist medication and who may be getting side effects. Perhaps they need to know this. Perhaps their physician or prescriber didn't have the time to explain this to them, so they may benefit from this information. Share the video if you feel they may benefit from my coaching program. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out my website, healthgroupcoaching.com, and I'll see you at the next video.